If you are a South African and you are in Ghana, there is no cause for alarm. If you are a South African and you are in Ghana, there is no cause for alarm. If you are South African and you are in Ghana, there is no cause for alarm. We cannot sack Africans from Africa. We believe that this is equally your home. We are not animals like your brothers and sister Jacinta who are back in South Africa. We are wiser than Jacinta a million-fold, and that is why we are leading by this demonstration. So if you are a South African, please be rest assured, no youth of Ghana is going to enter your shop. No youth of Ghana is going to enter your premises. No youth of Ghana is going to take your cars or take over what belongs to you like they are doing to our brother Sabato somewhere. However, if you are South African in Ghana or any part of Africa and you are against what is going on, we expect that you also join us. We expect that you also do press conferences. We expect that you also do press releases. So that we know that you are fighting. And maybe finally, to President Ramaphosa, we think that you sending envoys across to some countries, if not all countries in Africa, so that we can get back stronger in bilateral ties with South Africa again, is just an afterthought. You were there, Mr. President, when our people were being brutalized and you were silent. Even if you talked, you were only loud in your silence. And now, so at least Ghanaians and the rest of Africa would think that President Ramaphosa is doing something. Of course, we can only believe that President Ramaphosa of South Africa is really standing true to his words by condemning this xenophobic attack if he commands an arrest of the likes of Jacinta and all those criminals that led that nonsense of a negative crusade against our people. If that happened, then we know that indeed South Africa is remorseful. Until then, we are standing by these measures that we are suggesting to government, and we know that someday Africa will win. But for the youth of Ghana, you have done a human job.
Now, some Ghanaians are protesting against South Africans. When is this going to stop? This whole issue between Ghanaians and South Africa. And don't also forget that today South Africa is opening the World Cup match against Mexico. And the heat coming from Ghanaians is too much.
We will talk on Thursday. Ochina World Cup. Mexico, South Africa. Mexico 9, South Africa 0.
But fast forward, I will tell you everything that is happening in Ghana against South Africa. Kindly subscribe to our channel, comment, like, and share as well. But before then, Ghanaians, some of them are very angry against the xenophobia attack against our colleagues in South Africa.
Enough is enough.
No renewal.
We thank you, Mr. President.
No renewal.
We thank you, Mr. Minister.
No renewal.
But still, enough is enough.
No renewal.
We thank you, Mr. President.
No renewal.
You've done well.
No renewal.
Mr. Minister, you have done well.
No renewal.
But the youth are saying,
no renewal.
Enough is enough.
Where they are also protesting, sending a petition to the government to stop a South Africa great business in Ghana here not to operate because their lease will be expiring coming 2027.
Guys, on behalf of the minister, that we have kept you here for a while. The reason being that this morning we're supposed to have some handover ceremony with the NIMOs, and so we're there when the information got to us that you were here. Because the minister did not want you to waste time here, then he asked some senior directors to attend to you. But we were told that you demanded to see the minister or myself. And so he delegated me to come and receive the petition on his behalf. Let me also thank you for this civilized, matured way of doing things. Like you rightly said, the youth of Ghana, the Ghanaian youth, could have also decided to, as it were, retaliate in a manner that would not be good for us. But you have chosen this path, a path that demonstrates your maturity a path that demonstrates that Ghanaian youth are well cultured.
Okay, fast forward. Do you remember the story I did telling you about Goldfield Limited Ghana, a South Africa gold mining business that have stayed in Ghana here for over 33 years. In Takwa, that's where they are operating. At some time ago, their CEO was pleading with the Ghanaian authority to renew their lease extension.
And we have the privilege of being the largest gold mining company in Africa. And so when we think about our business in Ghana, we see it as an extension of who we are as an African mining company. So when I think about Takwa, it's a really important part of our business. In fact, 25% of our production comes out of Ghana, our global production. A quarter of our production is from Ghana. In some respects, we were very disappointed to see that Damang is no longer part of our group, because over 30 years of being part of Damang and seeing the success of Damang, it was a time, part of the regulatory changes, that moved on to different ownership. What we are proud of, though, is we have set Damang up for a sustainable future. And when we started the conversation with the government about what the future of Damang was, we were very clear that the most important thing for us is that all of those jobs and livelihoods that were dependent on Damang mine continued. So we invested quite a lot in ensuring that we had a plan for the sustainability of Damang. We were willing to hand that asset over to ensure that that asset was sustainable. And what we've seen today is that the work over the last 12 months has meant that we've now got a mine that's continued without interruption. And that to us was the most important thing. But I will say this today, is that we are not going to give up in any way on Takwa. So in November last year, we submitted a lease extension for the Takwa mine, which would give us, at least for the initial term, another 20 years of mining at Takwa. This will require quite a significant amount of reinvestment. We're going to have to move a huge amount of more material. We're going to have to invest a whole lot in additional fleet and equipment. That's going to require additional manpower to actually move that material over the next 20 years. But what that will do is set up Takwa to be a really successful world-class asset for another 20 years. And then during that time, we can consider how we continue to extend the life of that asset beyond that period. So we are very committed to Takwa. And if there's a disappointment that I don't spend enough time at the mine in Takwa, is because unfortunately a lot of the time that I'm spending in Ghana has been to try and lobby the Minister, Minerals Commission. We're meeting this week with the Minister of Finance and all of those politicians who actually have a role to play in the decision about the role that Goldfields has in the future. So a lot of the work that we're doing and that I'm having to lift is to really try and present the case of why Goldfields. And if I come back to why Goldfields and why we feel so convicted about the work that we do, is that our strategy is really clear. We don't just mine gold for the sake of our shareholders, for all of the international shareholders around the world. A key part of our strategy is to make a meaningful difference in the host communities in which we operate. And if I look at the great work,
where now it turns out to be a broad debate where Ghanaian youth were sharing the ideas that the government shouldn't renew it. So now Ghanaians are protesting that the government should never, ever renew the lease extension for the South African company in Ghana here. And the protest, they said a lot.
Thank you, and to encourage you to do what you are doing when necessary in a very peaceful manner, as you have demonstrated. This makes it easier for all of us to be able to resolve this issue. Assuming you are taken to the street to also retaliate, like what others have done, it would have been chaotic, and that would have thrown this country into a different situation. And so once again, I want to thank you that this is the way to go about us. And this government, led by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, represent the youth, represent the interests of Ghanaians, and he and his cabinet will not disappoint you. On this note, thank you.
The most interesting part of this whole story is that the deputy minister of some ministerial sector approached the protesters and received the petition from them. And this is what happened. And Ghanaians are not resting anytime soon, because what is happening in South Africa, they are not pleased or happy about it. So Ghanaians are really protesting, and they are not stopping anytime soon, because if they should go a retaliation form in a hard way, they are willing to do, because whatever is happening in South Africa is very inappropriate. Because now foreign ministers and foreign ministers are also having beef online. That is Ghana foreign minister and South Africa foreign minister, and also Ghanaian youth and South Africa youth, all of them saying that none of the other country government should approve anything for the other. So this is the beef going on, and South Africa is playing today. And the most dramatic part of this story I want to chip in is that for ages, Africans have supported themselves. But this time around, there is a massive change in the system. That is, many African countries are rooting for Mexico today and saying that South Africa will not win. Even South Africa is playing against the stadium, they will still support the stadium.
We will talk on Thursday. Ochina Air World Cup. Mexico, South Africa. Mexico 9, South Africa 0.
Mexico! El hombre muy honrado que me gusta lo mejor. Mujeres me falta bien.
What color is the sky? Ay, mi amor, ay, mi amor. You tell me that it's red. Ay, mi amor, ay, mi amor. Where should I put my shoes? Ay, mi amor, ay, mi amor. You say put them on your head. Ay, mi amor, ay, mi amor. Break me paglo, poquitito loco. Y quieres sing, I'm nodding and I'm yesing. Now, sit.
And if you go on social media, it's quite fun and also very interesting. But we just hope that one people, as we are all black, we will come down and support Mexico. If you find this informative, here is Trend Echo. Kindly subscribe to our channel, comment, like, and share as well. See you same day, same time. Bye-bye.